Yeah, so here we are. Here's the flow for the game flow. So we've got a splash screen that just shows the Twitch Makes Games logo. Then we go through the main menu. From the main menu, we can start or quit. Quit takes us out of the game. Start takes us into the game where there's a tutorial or intro. Oh, who is doing that follow? That's Daroy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that follow, my friend. Let me get my screen all nice and set up. It's tough. There we go. Good. So yeah, and then from the main screen, you can get more information about a mind, you can get more information about a body, or you can dump a mind into a body. You can escape, which brings up a pause menu, which from which you can either continue the game or quit out of the game. If you quit, you go back to the main menu. And then if you have a victory, Neminos, shout out to you, my friend. If you have a victory, you get a victory screen. If you fail, you have a fail screen. All of that goes back to the main menu. Raccoon Macaroon, what a great name. Cool. So, what does that look like in play? So we open the splash scene, and here we go. Oh, look at that. We've got a nice fancy logo for ourselves. Swishy. And if you do anything at all, it takes you to the main game screen. You know what we need? We need a title, placeholder title up here. And then you can either start or quit. Quit doesn't do anything yet. That's okay. You can start, and then you're in the game. And here we are in the game. This doesn't do anything but show us that we're in game. Black Robe, thank you for the follow. But if you hit escape, it brings you to a pause menu. And there's probably, we need like a paused thing up here. And you can either continue or quit. If you continue, you go back into game. And if you hit escape and quit, you go back to the main menu. Perfect. So we've got our game flow like basically working. Yeah. So, Miko Chica. Here's what I was thinking we would do tonight. Like all that stuff about like title and stuff, you know, that's fine. Maybe we'll just, I don't know, let's see, splash screen that has a sprite with a logo. I need to create a logo for that. We could do that. You know, let's give it a shot. We can at least make a title for our game, just so that we have it. So, here we go. I'm just gonna make this image. I'm using paint.net. I make this image like 300 wide by 100 high. I'm gonna select everything and delete it so that I get a transparent background. And then we're gonna write some text here. It's gonna be white. And this is gonna say AI Mind Sorter. It's super, super tiny right now. You can barely see it. All right, see, there it is. So that text, we want it to be more like 36 points. That's too big. 28 points. Oh, it's all cut off. I don't like that. All right, well, let's delete that and do it again. AI Mind Sorter. And we'll center it all. And we'll make it bold. This is just a super placeholder thing so that we have a title screen. And then we'll save it under AI Mind Disorder Assets, Textures, and this is title.png. Okay, great. Now we can go here, textures, there's the title. So what we need to do is we need to create a sprite asset in the other scene. So I'm going to go to the main menu scene. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to create a 2D object, a sprite. And this is just going to be the title, or SPR underscore title. Okay. And then we're going to take the texture for the title and drag it up into here. Hey, check it out, Zulina. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that. Great. So where's this? Let's find it. Oh, there it is. I think that's fine. Okay, great. Save it, and then when we hit play, let's go to that splash screen and play. Twitch Makes Games, click AI Mind Sorter. There you go. So, easy. Easy peasy. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to make it possible to have minds and bodies. Oh, Finch256. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Big shout out to you, Finch256. That's fantastic. Wolf der Schatten is asking, not that I mind watching, but I'm curious what the ultimate goal is with these simulations. Are you honing the craft, expressing a hobby for any interested to watch? This is one, I want to make more indie games on my own, and I want to get better at doing the work of making indie games, so I'm doing that. Two, I do want to explore with viewers how to make games. And three, I think it's a really interesting community project to make games that are based on the community, or based on ideas that the community has put forwards. And I like that it's collaborative. Someone tweeted at me a Twitch Makes Games logo, and I promptly lost it, so I need to tweet out and ask that person to either tweet it at me again or preferably post it to the subreddit. But I want to use assets that y'all have made. I want to take ideas for design from you all. I want to build this game with your help. That's what I want to do. So, that's what we're aiming for. All right, so here we are. We're in the main game. That's what we're doing. We want the game flow for the game under the Scene Game folder here. So, yes. We've got two panels, game panel and the pause panel. Now we could just undo that button and turn it off. And then when you're in game, you won't see the button that says in game. You're just in the game. If you hit escape, you're there. Continue, whatever. Okay. So, what do we need? What do we need? So this is like first implementation. Let's see, I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit here. Basic implementation. What do we need to do? In the most basic form, we need minds, bodies, a connection between mind and body, a clue between mind and body. What kind of assets are required, Eclipsed Archon 1? I will probably ask specifically for assets. I'm going to say, I need an asset, it's about this size, it looks kind of like this, let's see what we can pull out. And then I'll look through what people have offered, and I will grab what sparks my inspiration. But it's important to remember that like what I am building here is based on my thoughts, my preferences, my skills, but each of you have your own thoughts, preferences, and skills that you could take and apply to a similar game on your own. Honyan B. Meister mentions correctly, they had recently made some sprite art 2D enemies, including animations, but it doesn't seem like those would be useful for this game. Yeah, there you go. This is probably not the right game for animated sprite enemy animations. Wolf der Schatten, there's a number of resources for creating sprite sheets, but they're not Unity or Photoshop, really. Yeah, so let's see. We need minds, bodies, a connection between minds and correct bodies, A clue between minds and bodies. So what do we need to do? We need to generate... We need to do something like generate a mind and a body. Just so that y'all have it, I'm going to drop the sharing link in chat so that anybody who wants to come in and look at the design document can. And y'all feel free to copy that and share it around. That is just fine. I'm happy to have that information going around. So let's think. We want to create, let's see, create n minds, let's say 8. Create n bodies, let's say 4. Minds have, they have properties. Minds have link to correct body. They have clues about correct body. They have, what else that might they have? Links to correct body, clues about correct body. That might be it at its most simple basic form. That might be all we need. Oh, create Y bodies. And then each body needs a link to correct mind, clues about correct mind. And then we need a way to display all of that stuff. We need to be able to show it on screen. Yeah. That's going to be a tricky part, because I don't know how to do any of this. So we're going to figure it out together. And if we make some happy little bugs, that's okay. So when we get into the game screen, the game scene, we need to run an initialization that generates minds and bodies. It creates links between them. So let's think. Gameflow game. Let's take a look at our Gameflow game script. So at the start, we go to game. We run the toGame function. And toGame activates the game panels. So let's actually write a comment. Activates any game panels necessary. So we're going to use that spot to show off where the brains are, where the bodies are. Brains, bodies, testers, etc. And to pauses the game, clears game panels, displays pause panels. But we also want some sort of initialization sequence. So at the start, we are going to run sort of mind setup, brain setup, game setup, really. Let's go with just initialize. Initialize bios. So what are we going to have here? So let's see. So this is a function that we're making. It's a public function. We want it to be available anywhere. Maybe we don't, but let's operate under that assumption right now. And let's, this is initialize bios. So what are we gonna want? Optimization. Danny Letcher is saying you can get rid of the second get key down check by nesting the if game paused inside of the first one. This get key down check and nesting the if game paused. I see. So we could instead do something like this. Oh gosh. If game paused to game, else. Now we're gonna have to test it. Game paused to game. Oh, let's do, wait, that. Yep. Else to pause. Something like that, and that goes there, and then we can just comment this entire thing out. Let's save it and then rebuild. Method must have a return type. Oops, void. Save. Rebuild. Successful. Sounds good. Danny Letcher is a game dev major. Awesome. Except there's a kappa. I don't know if that's serious or not. Oh my god, kappas. Okay, let's take a look and see that that works. I don't want to break anything. Okay, escape, 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 escape. Beautiful. Thanks, Danny. Works like a charm. So now we're just gonna delete this. This is gone. Lovely. Mm-hmm. So in the initialize bios, okay, I think we want each mind and each body to be a class. Stephanie RCT is a happy little game dev senior who apparently used to work at one of the companies that I used to work for, but we weren't there at the same time, so we didn't cross paths. Oh, hey, check it out. Daniel Lake 3 tossed me the link to Imager. Yeah, great, 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 great. I'm going to download this right now so that I can save this into the Twitch Makes Games directory on my computer. Where do I have that? Oh, you know what? I was saving it into Twitch Makes Games. Okay, so where did I put that? Is it under here? Unity, 3D, that looks promising. Projects, AI mind disorder, assets, textures, Twitch Makes Games. Fantastic. Okay, we'll save this. We'll go plug that in because it's super fun. Scenes, whoops, compiling scripts. Had to re-import all of the things. So splash screen, let's save the game scene. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at the logo, and instead of taking the sprite logo, the logo sprite, we're gonna take the Twitch Makes Games sprite and put that there. Oh my goodness, look. Oh no! Oh, it's so dark. So dark against the background there. Okay, so we may have to do some color tweaking against that. But now we have a logo that was created by the community. Let's see, main camera, background. If we make the background lighter, then we'll be able to see it. Oh, that's interesting. It's not actually lightening. There we go. Cool. Now we can play. Twitch makes games. Beautiful. Okay. Wonderful. Back to the main menu scene. Save that. That's fantastic. Sean Yuen, no, I have not still changed my Twitch avatar, rather. Okay, so I'm gonna look up how to initialize a class in Unity. How to initialize objects by using an object initializer. Public class mind, public class body. Great. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Public class mind. Oops. Oops. Gotta get my parentheses right, my braces. Okay, so this is a mind, duh. This is a body. Okay, so like the default constructor has no parameters. Default constructor is invoked in the processing of object initializers. So let's just say public mind. Great, beautiful. And then public body. So we could initialize it with information from a random list, like names. We could initialize it with names. Basically just looking at a Microsoft library that's giving an overview of initializing objects. So what did we say our minds have? Our minds have clues. So public mind. I wonder, maybe chat, you can help me with this. Do we want to generate the clue from within the class? Like, for example, the initialization just spouts a random number, and that's the clue that gets selected. And then the class compares the random number with an array, selects the array at the random location, and then generates the clue. Or do we want to pass the entire clue from outside the class into the class? What do you think? Happy little clues. We're going to generate some happy little clues. From outside, the clue should be made at the initialization of each class instance. Outside seems like that gives more freedom. Okay, we'll give it a shot. So public mind string first name, string last name. Maybe these are commas instead of semicolons. And let's lowercase, we'll camel case that. first name, last name, string, job position? What if it is possible for there to be either a single or multiple clues? Yes. String clue 1, string clue 2, string clue 3. Have a good night, Lauren Danger. Thank you for hanging out for a while. Always appreciate your coming by. Let's say first and last. Job. Clue 1, clue 2, clue 3. So then we've got first name equals first, last name equals last, and we're going to define these parameters in just a little bit. Job position equals job, and these are strings. So clue first equals clue 1, clue second equals clue 2, clue third equals clue 3. Okay, good. Then public string first name public, oops, last name get set public string job position get set public string clue first. Here's what I need to do here. Whoops. Oh, copy. Beautiful. And we want it to have a link to a brain or a body. So that's the last thing that we want. We haven't created the body yet. Interesting. Interesting. So let's see. Bool body has body. And then we're going to use a body. Which body? There we go. And that's what we wanted. So then has body. Nope. Owns body equals has body. Great. And then what can we call it? My body. My body equals which body? Okay, and then we've got public, and these are all public variables so that we can query each mind and say, you know, what's your name? What's your job? What clues do you have for me? Which body is yours? Public bool owns body. And then public body. Because we basically, an object almost operates like a variable that we can define. Public body, my body. Okay, good. Coming back over to chat to take a look. Boondoggle is suggesting making the name or job position into a person object and have the person object own the body and mind object. That's an interesting perspective. I don't necessarily want to like go back and shuffle it all around right now, but I like that that thought. That's a really cool, clever way of solving this. But basically now we can check, we can create a couple of minds and we can query them and we can say, hey, do you have a body? And if the answer is yes, we can generate a body for that mind. Okay, so public body, public body, public body. Good. Body, and then we've got mind has, wait, which mind? That's something that we need. String clue 1, string clue 2, string clue 3. I think that might be all we really need for our bodies. Except we've used braces instead of parentheses. That is not gonna fly. Public body, are we making exhibitionists? And what if we are? Okay, so we've got which mind? My mind equals which mind? Clue first equals clue 1. Clue second equals clue 2. Clue third equals clue 3. Does this game have a UI yet? Poner, this game is all UI at the moment. Hyrule Spy wonders if we can find the Twitch Makes Games Balmer Peak. Well, I've had maybe half of a shot. 15 or 20 ounces of, or 15 or 20 milliliters of rum at the moment. And I'm 150 pounds. So we could probably calculate the appropriate amount of blood alcohol level, blood alcohol concentration that is the Twitch Makes Games Balmer Peak. Good. So public mind. My mind. Get set. These are going to be strings that are just the clues. Clue first, second, third. Blah. Blah. Your clues should be an array or a list for the sake of tidiness. If I ever go back and change it, or just to keep chat sane. Let's see. I'm going to just make a comment here. I'm going to comment. Should we make clues into an array or a list? Atlanta Ray, the gaming cat, is shaking already. Sorry, y'all. Should we make clues into an array or a list? Possibly. Especially if we want to extend the number of clues. So this is the first pass super hacky implementation. Okay. Sencho's asking what this game is about. This game is a game where you're an AI and you're sorting minds that you have stored in your data banks into bodies that you have stored in cryo storage in order to wake them up. You imagine body would have attributes like age, skin color, hair color. It's true. All I want to get right now, because I'm taking baby steps. Yeah. All I want to get right now is I want to get one mind created, one body created. The clue is going to say matches body 2 or matches body 1 or whatever. And then when we click like dump and we select the right body, it says good job. That's all I'm looking for at the moment. So we're initializing the bios. So if I wanted to create some minds, let's see, what I'm doing here is I'm looking at how to declare a new mind. So let's see. Mind 1 equals new mind. But then I want to pass some parameters to this new mind. And then we'll go mind 2 equals new mind with some new parameters as well. But we are going to need an array of minds. Because what I want to do is for each mind, I create a body. And then once I have enough bodies, like to fill the body slots, then I stop creating bodies. Yeah, we might not have a failure state, Hyrule Spy. Good luck mode, you can get started by learning how to code in Unity with any number of excellent tutorials online. In fact, if you searched Unity C# tutorial, I'm sure you would find a way to very easily start learning things. I think we're going to have more minds than bodies. Multiple minds, but just one body. Let's see. Array. C#. Oh gosh. Not C3. Arrays for C#. Arrays. Right. Declaring a single dimensional array. Declaring a multi-dimensional array. Okay. So I think what I want here is I'm gonna want an array of minds. So what I have, mind there, all minds. Equals new mind with a size max minds. Sure. And now we need an int max minds equals 5. That's going to be public so that we can change the number of minds that we want. So Does that make sense? Am I totally doing this wrong? Use lists. Lists are much easier. I'm not sure if they have to have a size. I'm not sure if they have to have a size either. All right, we'll use a list. I know nothing about lists, but apparently it's easier. So list. iList, array list. This doesn't seem quite right, right? Am I not including something that I need to in order to access the list? Using system collections.generic. There we go. So we'll go with lists. I'm going to follow Danny Letcher's lead here. List, mind, all minds equals new list mind. What? So it's not letting me put list mind there. Arrays of a set length lists are effectively the same, but with no hard upper limit. Thanks, Kirigor Ekal. I appreciate that. Use all the things. So why is it asking for all minds or max minds here instead of just letting me put mind? New list. I'm going to do that for now. Hi, I know. Let's take a moment to admire a beautiful kitty. Hi, baby. You gonna rub my elbow? Oh, meow. I think Nightbot is sleeping on the job tonight, so go ahead and put your links in chat. Meow. What a cutie. Just wants to sit here and rub my elbow. It's very sweet of you, sweetie. Stephanie, my cat, is a common feature on my stream. She is a cutie. You have compiler errors. That's true, but that's okay because we haven't finished making things yet. Should 100% be new list mind. There we go. It just wasn't, because I hadn't saved, it wasn't reading the class for minds. Okay, so we don't actually need a max minds. Okay, cool. Do we need that to be public? Let's make it public, and then later we can make it private. Titanium white. Rope your boat. And everybody else who's followed me so far this evening, shout outs to you. I do appreciate those follows. Thank you very much. LNRA, the gaming cat, I don't know how... Oh, you need the parentheses. Thank you, chat. Thank you. I don't know how advanced you are with games development, but if you take a look at RPG Maker, it's a simpler tool that lets you get started just immediately making JRPG-like games. It's okay, Clonza. We would in fact eventually see the compiler errors and correct our problem. Okay. So we're gonna make some minds. So how do I add an element to a list? I don't know anything about lists, so I'm gonna look it up. Lists. Systems collections generic list. A list is a resizable, represents a strongly typed list of objects that can be accessed by index. much like an array. Provides methods to search, sort, and manipulate lists. Interesting. List T. Capacity count methods add. So we add an object to the end of list T. So what we need to do is add mind. Oh, wait. Okay, so what's the name of our list of minds? All minds. All minds dot add. Mind item. Is that it? That's what we're gonna do. Save. Hey B MacBook. Welcome to the stream. Create the mind first, then add it to the list. Okay. Sure. We can definitely do that. So let's take this up here and then add mind 1. That's what we'll be doing. Poor encapsulation. So I don't think I want to call it mind 1. I want to call it new mind. New mind equals new mind. Add new mind, and then we're gonna make this be a loop. So we want a number of minds. So here we go. Int public int num of minds equals 5. Yep, there we go. So then we're gonna go for, oh god, I've totally forgotten how to write for loops. For initializers, I equals 0, I is less than num of minds, I plus plus. Okay. What is I equals 0, I is less than num of minds, I plus plus. And then we're going to add that mind. And then we're going to close it. Blam. So now we have a repeating loop that can create a number of minds. Use for each whenever possible. But we're not iterating through a number of minds in the list. We're just trying to do this operation a number of times. We could use like a do while loop, while num of minds is less than 5. Okay. So you're just replying to people in chat. You're on it. I love it. Totally rad. So we need a first name and last name. We need some information about the minds. So first name equals name plus i.toString. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. So it's just gonna be like name 1, name 2, name 3, name 4, name 5. Cool. Last name equals last mic last plus I dot toString. We're just going to fill in some junk data here, just so that we have a list with a number of things in it. First name, last name, job position. Job position equals position plus we do like 5 minus I dot toString. Is that even gonna work? Is that a thing? Would that happen? Chat, tell me. Num of minds minus I dot toString. That sounds ridiculous, but that's okay. Do we need the parentheses after toString? Okay, job position, clue the first, clue the second, clue the third. Owns body. toString parentheses, okay. Okay, done. Consider it done. Let's F8. Syntax error, comma expected. I don't know, y'all. If I delete these, save, and then build, syntax error, comma expected. Why is it asking me for a comma? That doesn't make any sense at all. Close parentheses expected. Okay, I'm gonna look up how to cast an int to string. So integer, C# integer to string. Let's take a look. Convert into string, Stack Overflow. Let's take a look. String myString equals myInt dot toString parentheses semicolon. Do I need string here? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Valid expression term. You know what? It looks like I might not even need toString in this location. Oh, of course I don't need a... Of course I don't need a semicolon because we're defining the characteristics of the object, not... Yeah. We're passing parameters. We're not ending the lines. Okay, now that we're doing this, let's give this a better shot. I think we don't actually even need toString. I think it implicitly converts. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Danny Letcher, yeah. Yeah, first name equals name plus I think we don't need toString. I think. So we're gonna see. Okay. Job position. I just want the job position to be counting backwards. Position 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plus 1 minus I. Okay. Job position clues. Clue the first. Ooh. I think we're not gonna set any clues yet, because we need to know which body we're working with to set up clues for the body. So this is interesting. This is where the previous suggestion of having a person object that owns a mind and a body might make it easier. The design document is incredibly basic, Kid Can't Game, unfortunately. What I need to do is I need to like grab the high level overview and copy paste it into the design document. Why is there a parentheses expected there? So we don't need this. We don't need this at all. This is now gone. Goodbye. Destroyed with great prejudice. save, and then F8, rebuild. Build successful. Okay, good. All right. So it's about time for our first 5-minute break. We take 5-minute breaks around here once an hour just to get up, stretch our legs. But first, I want to go number of minds, 6 minus I, because I is 0. Yeah, it's going to count down from 6 to 2. You're right. Okay, so that's great. Okay, so I want to grab the overview of this game from the subreddit and drop it into the design document. So let's see, I'm just gonna pull up my beautiful face. Ha 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 ha. Oh nice, someone made an AI mind sorter title sprite. Great. Which makes games. Yes, there we go. Okay. Jackalope Joe said in the Reddit, how about a game where you are put in the position of an AI overseeing a cryo chamber about to wake up, a vault, a spaceship, whatever, and you have to wake up the inhabitants. The twist is the inhabitants' minds are all stuck in a cloud storage system, and you have to sort the personalities and put them in the right bodies before they wake up. Have their personalities be small text descriptions, and then have some sort of flowing thought bubble and try to match them. Difficulty can come from some of the personality descriptors being corrupted, lines missing, letters rearranged, binary, to make it somewhat puzzly. Use some of the ideas of what makes a thing, similar to some of the emotions Soma was trying to evoke, while being somewhat detached from the people, as you are just a computer trying to do its best, like the AI from Soma. So that's super great. I'm going to grab that up in here. AI mind matchers. So this is the high level. Blow. Hang on. There, I'm gonna paste it without any formatting. Cool. Beautiful. Now that our design document is a little bit more fleshed out, I am in fact going to take that short break. So, real quick, I'm going to give those shout outs again. So big thank you to Trashcan512, my most recent follower, and Finch256, my most recent subscriber. Huge thanks to both of you. It's always incredibly flattering whenever anybody decides to either follow or subscribe to support the stream. If you're wondering who I am and where you can find more of me on the internet, I'm Stephen Lumpkin. I am everywhere online as Silent Osiris. You can see over here at Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Silent Osiris. So if you want to keep up to date with my streams and what's going on, then you can follow me in those locations. I'm also one of the senior designers working on Roller Coaster Tycoon World, which is currently slated for launch in December, December 10th. So if you're into the Roller Coaster Tycoon games, keep an eye out for that. I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to toss up a timer here so that we can have a countdown. Play a little bit of WC while we're away, and then we'll throw ourselves back into it. We've made some good progress here today. I wonder if we're going to be able to advance enough to actually see anything new in game, or if it's just going to be set up and then next time we take what we did here today and we make it visible in game. But we will find out. We'll figure that out. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more Twitch Makes Games.